Namaste. Welcome to Samskriti. We are now in Sarga 6 of Kishkinda Kandam in the Adhyatma Ramayana series. Sugriva and Lakshmana saw Rama at a distance sitting at the mouth of a cave. Rama, who was dressed in deerskin and who had matted locks adorning his crown, who was broad-eyed and was staring blankly at some birds and animals nearby, distracted by separation from Sita. Seeing Rama, they both got down from the chariot and approaching him, fell down at his feet in prostration. Rama, a master of all the codes of right conduct, embraced Sugriva and made enquiries about his welfare, and seating him by his side, extended to him a very warm reception, according to tradition. Now, Sugriva, in an attitude expressive of his deep devotion, spoke to the most exalted Raghu. O Rama, see the great army of monkeys that is gathering. Here is assembled an army of countless number of monkeys, come from their abodes in various continents, lakes and mountains. Born in principal mountain ranges, they have all originated from parts of the Devas. In size, they are like the Meru and the Mandara mountains, and they can take any form they like. They are also well versed in all forms of warfare. Besides, they are all incredibly strong, some equal in strength to one elephant and others equal to 10 or even 10,000 elephants. There are still some others whose strength cannot be estimated. These monkey heroes are of varied complexions, some shining like antimony, some golden colored, some with red faces, some long-tailed, some crystal clear and some demon-like. All these monkeys of various sizes and appearance are roaming about roaring, thus expressing their warlust. O Lord, all these monkey heroes, subsisting on roots and fruits, are now assembled here to carry out your orders. Besides them, there is the army of bears, whose leader is the wise and heroic Jambavan. Here is another, my famous Chief Minister Hanuman, who is the leader of a crore of bears and noted for his great strength and courage. He is the offspring of the wind god, possessed of unlimited prowess, the best among intellectuals, and very adept in diplomacy. Next, O Rama, hear the names of my other generals in the order of their importance. They are Nala, Neela, Gavaya, Gavaksha, Gandhamadhana, Sarabha, Maindava, Gaja, Panasa, Balimukha, Dadhimukha, Sushena, Tara, and Kesari, the high-souled and mighty father of Hanuman. All of them are endowed with great character and in their warlike quality equal to Indra himself. Every one of them is a leader of a crore of monkeys. All of them, born of Devas, are assembled here to carry out your orders. Here is Vali's son Angada, equal to Vali himself in strength and capable of destroying armies of Rakshasas. All these and several others capable of catapulting pieces of mountain and adept in destroying enemy forces are assembled here ready to give up their lives for your sake. O Raghutama, all these monkeys are at your disposal, ready to carry out your orders. Thereupon, Rama, embracing Sugriva with tears of joy in his eyes, said, O Sugriva, you know the serious nature of the mission we are to undertake. Please initiate a search for the whereabouts of Sita. Thereupon, Sugriva, with great pleasure, directed all his powerful monkey followers to take up this search for Sita. While sending various types of monkeys in different directions, he selected, after much deliberation, a special band of his followers to go in the southern direction. In this group, he specially included his heir apparent Angada, Jambavan, Hanuman of mighty prowess, Nala, Sushena, Sarabha, Mainda, and Dvivida. He gave the following order to the search party. You have to spare no effort in searching for the virtuous and auspicious Sita. You have to finish your search within the period of a month. Anyone returning even a day after the lapse of that period without finding out Sita will have to face severe punishment at my hands, including execution. After giving these directions and sending off those powerful monkeys, Sugriva prostrated before Rama and sat by his side. At that moment, seeing the son of wind god Hanuman going on his mission, Rama called him and said, "Take my finger ring, which has my initials engraved on it with you. You should give this to Sita when she is alone as a means of your identification. O best among monkeys, you are the only one who is capable of doing this difficult task. I know your strength and intelligence. Proceed on your path now and be blessed and have good luck." In this manner, Angada and other monkeys were thus commissioned by the king of monkeys with his clear mandate. They began to roam about on this earth in search of Sita. While wandering, they came to a dense forest of the Vindhyachala mountains. There they saw a mountain-like formidable demon who was subsisting on the deers and elephants of the forest. Some monkeys mistakenly thought that he was Ravana and with enthusiastic cries hit him with their fists. On realizing that he was not Ravana, they proceeded to another forest where they were faced with the problem of drinking water. Wandering through the dense forest with their throat and tongue parched, they came across a big cave hidden by the growth of grass and creepers. They found coming out of it birds like Krauncha and Hamsa with water dripping from their wings. Concluding therefore that there must be water within, they decided to go into it. Hanuman entered the cave first, and led by him, all the other monkeys followed arm in arm, excited by the prospect of finding water. After they had penetrated a long distance through darkness, those monkeys came across a very strange place. They found there water reservoirs with crystal clear water. There were trees resembling Kalpaka Vriksha, the heavenly wish-yielding tree, laden with juicy fruits, and they had honeycombs hanging from them. Nearby was a dwelling fully bestowed with rich clothes and gem-like ornaments, besides delectable eatables, etc. It had all the auspicious signs, but was completely desolate. They were utterly astonished and stunned to see a beautiful lady with divine radiance sitting alone on a golden throne in one of the rooms of that dwelling. That lady was a yogini, a female ascetic, sitting in deep meditation. Her glowing radiance illuminated the place. She was dressed in tree bark clothes and sitting alone. The monkeys, full of fear and devotion in their mind, made prostrations to that ascetic woman. She, on her part, asked the monkeys, "Why and from where have you all come? Whose messengers are you? And why have you invaded my place?" Hearing this, Hanuman replied to her, giving a detailed account of the purpose of their mission. He also expressed his desire to know about who she was and why she was here in this place. The yogini was very pleased and delighted to know about Rama from Hanuman. She asked the monkeys to come and hear about her story after they had partaken of the delicious fruits there and drunk of the nectar like water to their fill. The monkeys did so accordingly, and with their hunger and thirst appeased, gathered around her and stood with palms joined in salutation. That yogini then started addressing Hanuman. Once upon a time, there was a daughter of Vishwakarma named Hema, who looked like divinity personified. Through the art of dance, she propitiated Parameshwara. Pleased with her, Lord Parameshwara gave her this wonderful place as her abode. She lived in this place for a long number of years. I am her friend. I am devoted to Mahavishnu and am an aspirant for moksha. My name is Swayamprabha and I am the daughter of a Gandharva named Divya. Before my friend Hema attained Brahmaloka, she told me, "You stay in this solitary place devoid of other living beings and perform austerity. In the Treta Yuga, the eternal and attributeless Narayana will be born as the son of Dasharatha and will roam about in this forest in order to lighten the burden of the earth. In search of his wife Sita, a troop of monkeys will come to the cave where you are residing. Extend a proper reception to them and then do heartfelt salutation to Rama. After that, you will attain the status of Vishnu, which is attainable only by yogis and ascetics. Hence, I immediately wish to go and meet Rama." All of you, now just close your eyes and then you will be out of the cave. The monkeys did accordingly, and they found themselves instantly outside the cave in the forest from where they had entered it. The yogini also left the cave and immediately came to the place where Rama was. Seeing Rama in the company of Lakshmana and Sugriva, that high-minded lady made repeated prostrations to Rama, and with horripulations all over her body, she said with her voice choked with emotion, "O Lord, I am but your servant, come here to see you. I have been staying in a cave for countless years, performing austerities for getting your darshanam. Those austerities have borne fruit today. What a fortunate and auspicious day it is for me that I am bowing in person to the Lord who is beyond Maya and who is present invisibly in all the elements, both inside and outside of them. You have sheathed yourself with your Yoga Maya. As a result, you have manifested yourself as a man. Embodied as a human being, you are unrecognizable to those whose insight is vitiated by ignorance. You have incarnated yourself in order to provide a means of communion through devotion for great aspirants after bhakti. O Lord, immersed as I am in tamas, how can I recognize you? O Raghutama, let philosophers seek to know your true nature, but as for me, I am satisfied with this form of yours. May this form shine ever in my heart. I have now seen your feet, which show the path of moksha. Beyond the vision of those who are immersed in samsara, you, the revealer of the truth to all seekers after moksha and the wealth of those who have no possessions, can never be even an object of speech for those who are established in the pride of their wealth, relatives, and power. Salutations to you who are beyond the gunas of Prakriti. I look upon you as time, as the Lord of all, as the one without beginning and end, as the one abiding unmodified in everything, and as the one supreme being that transcends everything. None, O Lord, can understand the mystery of your human advent. No one is dear to you, no one inimical, no one indifferent. These differences are only attributed to you by those whose vision is clouded by your Maya. Birthless, actionless, and endowed with supremacy over all, the talk of birth and actions by you in your incarnations among devas, men, and subhuman beings relate merely to appearances assumed by you. Though you are really birthless and deathless, some say that you are born so that devotees may hear accounts about you and your deeds as a means for salvation. Some say that your birth is in fulfillment of the austerities of King Dasharatha of Koshala, and some others say that it is a result of prayers of Kausalya. Still others say that in answer to the prayer of Brahma, you are born as man in order to relieve the earth of the burden of the evil Rakshasas. O Lord of Raghus, whoever hears or sings about your actions and excellences attain your feet, which help them cross the ocean of samsara. How can I know or praise you who are distinct from the eye sense resulting from the limitation of the gunas of your Maya? You who are not an object perceivable but yet are existent everywhere. I salute the Lord of Raghus, equipped with bow and arrows and accompanied by brother Lakshmana and Sugriva. To that devoted ascetic woman who sang his praise in this way, Rama, the eradicator of sins of those who prostrate to him, told her to ask for a boon. She replied with great devotion, "Wherever I may be born, O Lord of devotees, grant me unswerving devotion to you. May I ever have the association with your devotees and never with worldly minded people. May my tongue ever utter your sacred name with devotion. May my mind ever contemplate on your form of blue complexion, bedecked with armlets, anklets, pearl necklaces, ear pendants, and Kaustuba gem, donning a brilliant crown and yellow wearing cloth, equipped with a bow and arrows, and accompanied by Sita and Lakshmana." Rama said, "O high-souled lady, I grant you your prayer. You resort to the Badarikasrama, and there, contemplating on me, you will abandon this physical body made of 5 elements and attain me, the Supreme Being, without much delay." Hearing these nectarine words of Rama, the yogini Swayamprabha went to the Badari forest, and there, meditating on Rama, she left her mortal coil and attained the supreme state, Parampadam. Let's get on with the chanting now. Adhyatma Ramayane Kishkindha-kande Shashtaha Sargaha Drishtva Ramam Samasinam Guhadwari Shilatale Chailajinadharam Shyamam Jatamouli Virajitam Vishalanayanam Shantam Smitacharu Mukhambujam Sita Viraha Santaptam Pashyantam Mrigapakshinaha Rathadurat Samutpatya Vegat Sugriva Lakshmanau Ramasya Padayoragre Petatur-bhakti samyutau Ramas Sugriva Malingya Prishtva Namayamantike Sthapayitva Yatha Nyayam Pujayamasa Dharmaved Tato Bravidragusreshtham Sugrivo Bhakti Namradhihi Deva Pashya Samayantim Vanaranam Mahachamum Kulachaladri Sambhuta Meru Mandara Sannibhaha Nana Dvipa Sarichaila Vasinah Parvatopamaha Asankhyata Samayanti Harayah Kamarupinaha Sarve Devamsha Sambhutaha Sarve Yuddha Visharadaha Atra Kechid Gajabalaha Kechid Dasha Gajopamaha Gajayuta Bala Kechid Anyemita Balah Prabho Kechid Anjana Kuta Bhaha Kechid Kanaka Sannibhaha Kechid Raktantavadana Dirgavalastatha Pare Shuddhaspatika Sankashaha Kechid Rakshasa Sannibhaha Garjantah Paritoyanti Vanara Yuddha Kankshinaha Twadajñakarinas Sarve Phalamoolashanah Prabho Rikshanam Adhipo Viro Jambavan Nama Buddhiman Esha me Mantrinam Sreshtaha Koti Balluka Vrindapaha Hanumanesha Vikyato Mahasattva Parakramaha Vayuputroti Tejasvi Mantri Buddhimatam Varaha Nalo Nilascha Gavayo Gavaksho Gandhamadanaha Sharabho Maindavaschaiva Gajah Panasayevacha Valimukho Dadhimukaha Sushenastarayevacha Kesari cha Mahasattvaha Pita Hanumato Bali Ete te Yutha Parama Pradhanyena Mayoditaha Mahatmano Mahaviryaha Shakratulya Parakramaha Ete Pratyekatah Koti Koti Vanarayuthapaha Tavajñakarinas Sarve Sarve Devamsha Sambhavaha Yesha Vali Sutta Srimanangado Nama Vishrutaha Vali Tulya Balo Viro Rakshasanam Balantakaha Ete Chanye Cha Bahavaha Twadarte Tyakta Jivitaha Yodhara Parvatagraischa Nipuna Shatrughatane Ajñapaya Raghusreshta Sarve te Vashavartinaha Ramasugriva Malingya Harsha Purnashrulochanaha प्राह सुग्रीव जानासि सर्वं त्वं कार्यगौरवं मार्गणार्थं हि जानक्या नियुङ्क्ष्व यदि रोचते। श्रुत्वा रामस्य वचनं सुग्रीवः प्रीतमानसः प्रेषयामास बलिनो वानरान् वानरर्षभः। दिक्षु सर्वासु विविधान् वानरान् प्रेष्य सत्वरं दक्षिणां दिशमत्यर्थं प्रयत्नेन महाबलान् युवराजं जाम्बवन्तं हनुमन्तं महाबलं नलं सुषेणं शरभं मैन्दं द्विविधमेव च प्रेषयामास सुग्रीवो वचनं चेदमब्रवीत् विचिन्वन्तु प्रयत्नेन भवन्तो जानकीं शुभा मासादर्वाङ्निवर्तध्वं मच्छासनपुरःसराः सीतामदृष्ट्वा यदि वो मासादूर्ध्वं दिनं भवेत् तदा प्राणान्तिकं दण्डं मत्तः प्राप्स्यथ वानराः इति प्रस्थाप्य सुग्रीवो वानरान् भीमविक्रमान् रामस्य पार्श्वे श्रीरामं नत्वा चोपविवेश सः गच्छन्तं मारुतिं दृष्ट्वा रामो वचनमब्रवीत् अभिज्ञानार्थमेतन्मे ह्यङ्गुलीयकमुत्तमं मन्नामाक्षरसंयुक्तं सीतायै दीयतां रहः अस्मिन् कार्ये प्रमाणं हि त्वमेव कपिसत्तम जानामि सत्वं ते सर्वं गच्छ पन्तः शुभस्तव एवं कपीनां राज्ञा ते विसृष्टा परिमार्गणे सीताया अंगदमुखा बभ्रमुस्तत्र तत्रः भ्रमन्तो विन्ध्यगहने ददृशुः पर्वतोपमं राक्षसं भीषणाकारं भक्षयन्तं मृगान् गजान् रावणोऽयमिति ज्ञात्वा केचिद्वानरपुङ्गवाः जग्नुः किल किला शब्दं मुञ्चन्तो मुष्टिभीक्षणात् नायं रावण इत्युक्त्वा ययुरन्यन्महध्वनं वृषार्ता सलिलं तत्र नाविन्दन् हरिपुङ्गवाः विभ्रमन्तो महारण्ये शुष्ककण्ठोष्ठतालुकाः ददृशुर्गह्वरं तत्र तृणगुल्मावृतं महत् आर्द्रपक्षान् क्रौञ्चहंसान् निःसृतान् ददशुस्ततः अत्रास्ते सलिलं नूनं प्रविशामो महागुहाम् इत्युक्त्वा हनुमानग्रे प्रविवेश तमन्वयुः सर्वे परस्परं धृत्वा बाहून् बाहुभिरुत्सुकाः अन्धकारे महद्दूरं गत्वा पश्यन् कपीश्वराः जलाशयान् मणिनिभतो यान् कल्पद्रुमोपमान् वृक्षान् पक्वफलैर्नम्रान् मधुद्रोणसमन्वितान् गृहान् सर्वगुणोपेतान् मणिवस्त्रादिपूरितान् दिव्यभक्ष्यान्नसहितान् मानुषैः परिवर्जितान् विस्मितास्तत्र भवने दिव्ये कनकविष्टरे प्रभया दीप्यमानान्तु ददृशुस्त्रियमेककां ध्यायन्तीं चीरवसनां योगिनीं योगमास्थितां प्रणेमुस्तां महाभागां भक्त्या भीत्या च वानराः दृष्ट्वा तान् वानरान् देवी प्राह यूयं किमागताः कुतो वा कस्य दूता वा मत्स्थानं किं प्रदर्शथ तच्छ्रुत्वा हनुमानाः शृणु वक्ष्यामि देवि ते अयोध्याधिपतिः श्रीमान् राजा दशरथः प्रभुः तस्य पुत्रो महाभागो ज्येष्ठो राम इति श्रुतः पितुराज्ञां पुरस्कृत्य सभार्यः सानुजो वनं गतस्तत्र हृता भार्या तस्य साध्वी दुरात्मना रावणेन ततो रामः सुग्रीवं सानुजो ययौ सुग्रीवो मित्रभावेन रामस्य प्रियवल्लभा मृगयध्वमिति प्राह ततो वयमुपागताः ततो वनं विचिन्वन्तो जानकीं जलकाङ्क्षिणः प्रविष्टा गह्वरं घोरं दैवादत्र समागताः त्वं वा किमर्थमत्रासि का वा त्वं वद नः शुभे योगिनी च तथा दृष्ट्वा वानरान् प्राह हृष्टधीः यथेष्टं फलमूलानि जग्ध्वा पीत्वामृतं पयः आगच्छत ततो वक्ष्ये मम वृत्तान्तमादितः तथेति भुक्त्वा पीत्वा च हृष्टास्ते सर्ववानराः देव्या समीपं गत्वा ते बद्धाञ्जलिपुटा स्थिताः ततः प्राह हनूमन्तं योगिनी दिव्यदर्शना हेमा नाम पुरा दिव्यरूपिणी विश्वकर्मणः पुत्री महेशं नृत्येन तोषयामास भामिनी तुष्टो महेशः प्रददाविदं दिव्यपुरं महत् अत्र स्थिता सा सुदती वर्षाणामयुतायुतं तस्याहं सखी विष्णुतत्परा मोक्षकाङ्क्षिणी नाम्ना स्वयं प्रभा दिव्यगन्धर्वतनया पुरा गच्छन्ति ब्रह्मलोकं सा मामाहेदं तपश्चर अत्रैव निवसन्ति त्वं सर्वप्राणिविवर्जिते त्रेतायुगे दाशरथिर्भूत्वा नारायणो व्ययः भूभारहरणार्थाय विचरिष्यति कानने मार्गन्तो वानरास्तस्य भार्या मायान्ति ते गुहां पूजयित्वा तथान्नत्वा रामं स्तुत्वा प्रयत्नतः यातासि भवनं विष्णोर्योगिगम्यं सनातनम् इतोऽहं गन्तुमिच्छामि रामं द्रष्टुं त्वरान्विता यूयं पिदध्वमक्षीणी गमिष्यत बहिर्गुहां तथैव चक्रुस्ते वेगात् गताः पूर्वस्थितं वनं सापि त्यक्त्वा गुहां शीघ्रं ययौ राघवसन्निधिं तत्र रामं ससुग्रीवं लक्ष्मणं च ददर्शः कृत्वा प्रदक्षिणं रामं प्रणम्य बहुशः सुधीः आह गद्गदया वाचा रोमाञ्चिततनूरुहा दासीतवाहं राजेन्द्र दर्शनार्थमिहागता बहुवर्षसहस्राणि तप्तं मे दुश्चरं तपः गुहायां दर्शनार्थं ते फलितं मेद्य तत्तपः अद्य हि त्वां नमस्यामि मायायाः परतस्थितं सर्वभूतेषु चालक्ष्यं बहिरन्तरवस्थितं योगमाया जवनिका छन्नो मानुषविग्रहः न लक्ष्यसे ज्ञानदृशां शैलूष इव रूपधृक् महाभागवतानां त्वं भक्तियोगविधित्सया अवतीर्णोऽसि भगवन् कथं जानामि तामसि लोके जानातु यः कश्चित् तव तत्त्वं रघुत्तम ममैतदेव रूपं ते सदा भातु हृदालये राम ते पादयुगलं दर्शितं मोक्षदर्शनम् अदर्शनं भवर्णानां सन्मार्गपरिदर्शनं धनपुत्रकलत्रादिविभूतिपरिदर्पितः अकिञ्चन धनं त्वाद्य नाभिधातुं जनोर्हति निवृत्तगुणमार्गाय निष्किञ्चन धनाय ते नमस्वात्माभिरामाय निर्गुणाय गुणात्मने कालरूपिणमीशानमादिमध्यान्तवर्जितं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र मन्ये त्वां पुरुषं परम् देवते चेष्टितं कश्चित् न वेद निर्विडम्बनं न तेऽस्ति कश्चिद्दयितो द्वेष्यो वा पर एव च त्वन्मायापिहितात्मानस्त्वां पश्यन्ति तथाविधं अजस्याकर्तुरीशस्य देवतिर्यङ्नरादिषु जन्मकर्मादिकं यद्यत्तदत्यन्तविडम्बनं त्वामाहुरक्षरं जातं कथाश्रवणसिद्धये केचित् कोसलराजस्य तपसः फलसिद्धये कौसल्यया प्रार्थ्यमानं जातमाहुः परे जनाः दुष्टराक्षसभूभारहरणायार्थितो विभुः ब्रह्मणा नररूपेण जातोऽयमिति केचन शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति च ये कथास्ते रघुनन्दन पश्यन्ति तव पादाब्जं भवार्णवसुतारणं त्वन्मायागुणबद्धाहं यतिरिक्तं गुणाश्रयं कथं त्वां देवजानीयां स्तोतुं वा विषयं विभुं नमस्यामि रघुश्रेष्ठं बाणासनशरान्वितं लक्ष्मणेन सह भ्रात्रा सुग्रीवादिभिरन्वितम् एवं स्तुतो रघुश्रेष्ठः प्रसन्नः प्रणतागहृत् उवाच योगिनीं भक्तां किं ते मनसि काङ्क्षितं सा प्राह राघवं भक्त्या भक्तिं ते भक्तवत्सल यत्र कुत्रापि जाताय निश्चलां देहि मे प्रभो त्वद्भक्तेषु सदा संगो भूयान्मे प्राकृतेषु न जिह्वा मे राम रामेति भक्त्या वदतु सर्वदा मानसं श्यामलं रूपं सीता लक्ष्मणसंयुतं धनुर्बाणधरं पीतवाससं मुकुटोज्ज्वलम् अङ्गदैर्नूपुरैर्मुक्ताहारैः कौस्तुभकुण्डलैः भान्तं स्मरतु मे राम वरं नान्यं वृणे प्रभो। श्रीराम उवाच भवत्वेवं महाभागे गच्छ त्वं बदरीवनं तत्रैव मां स्मरन्ति त्वं त्यक्त्वेदं भूतपञ्चकं मामेव परमात्मानं अचिरात् प्रतिपद्यसे श्रुत्वा रघूत्तमवचोऽमृतसारकल्पं गत्वा तदैव बदरीतरुखण्डजुष्टं तीर्थं तदा रघुपतिं मनसा स्मरन्ती त्यक्त्वा कलेवरमवाप परं पदं सा। इति श्रीमध्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे किष्किन्धाकाण्डे 6 सर्गः।